Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are, or just good old g'day, because I'm Australian. Welcome to the channel today. I thank you for joining me as usual. If you're a returning visitor, I really appreciate you, and I cannot say it enough, and I hope you don't get bored with hearing it. If you're a newbie to the channel, I hope you enjoy the content and that you find something of interest to you that's beneficial. Just a mention too, if you like the content that goes up, could you please do the thumbs up thingy on the bottom of the video, if you know what I mean. Am I speaking English? Can you understand me properly? Sorry, I'm being a bit jesty today, shall we say. If you could give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, say g'day yourself, say hello to me. I will certainly respond to comments where I can. And of course, I'm not actually being bombarded with them right now, so definitely feel free to make a comment. I really would appreciate it. It helps to validate what I'm doing. Anyway, thank you. Moving on. Today we're going to be talking about the colour coral, which is an interesting colour, I must say, but we'll talk about it on the next slide. So just a useless bit of trivia for you, but it might be of interest for you anyway. When it comes to coral, of course, I am calling this colour coral because we do have coral this colour. But at the end of the day, if this coral is taken out of the water, this is the one that actually becomes colourless. In fact, actually, even the red coral doesn't hold on to the red colour for very long. Coral tends to lose its colour. So it's really only this shade when it's in the water is where I'm going. But as you can see, it's a kind of pinky, peachy, apricot colour. It's a different type of colour. Back in the day when I was growing up, I think we referred to this colour as being more a salmon pink. But if you have a name for it, please do let me know what you would call this colour, because it's not about the colour name, it's about the properties of the colour. This is what we're looking at. And when we sort of work out the properties, as usual, just to explain if this is if you're a first time visitor to the channel, when I do the interpretations of the colours, I actually look at what the mix of the shade is. If we were looking at mixing the colour on a palette, if we were a bit artistic, it would be, well, how do we make this colour? And that lets me know what the attributes are of the colour that we're actually working with. Because obviously when we're talking about this shade of colour, yes, it's pinky, so that means it brings in some of the red chakra, colouring wise. It's going to bring in a little bit of the white because it's pale. It's going to bring in a bit of the yellow because it's got these peachy undertones as well. So we're looking at a mix of shades here. And when we apply these colours to the chakras, each of these chakras have specific properties. So as it'll be a bit repetitive for people that have watched some of the other videos. The red chakra is about the base survival needs, willpower, all the base functions of life. It's also about survival and will to live and this kind of thing. Pink is generally associated with the heart chakra, okay? And in regard to the heart chakra, which you can see on this diagram as the darker green chakra, and that's a conversation I've covered a couple of times. I might cover it a bit more in the yarning. That when we're talking about the heart chakra, the green is reference to love of others and forgiveness of others. The pink tends to be about self-acceptance, self-respect, self-love, this kind of thing. So what we've got with the colour here is we've got the components of the pink of the heart chakra, which is the mix of the red and the white. We've got some of the yellow come in, and this is what gives it the orange undertones. So with the orange or sacral chakra, we're looking at creativity. With the yellow chakra, we're looking about personal empowerment, actually. I'll leave it at that. There's so much more actually involved with the chakras, but for now, I'll just leave it at that. So as a colour, basically coral carries all of these different attributes, but it's particularly beneficial for helping to ground and to minimise stress. Now, when we are able to manage our stress levels, then we help to avoid anxiety and anxiety conditions. It helps the mind when we're calm to be able to see situations from different perspectives, and it helps us to be creative in regard to our problem solving. And this is why coral is really good as a stress relief, if you like. Those people that have experienced some really significant heartbreak or feel that their heart has been broken and split in two, it could be unrequited love, it could be feeling rejected in ways that has absolutely crashed their self-esteem or crushed it even, they would find using the colour coral beneficial, because it will help, ideally, because of the qualities of the pink in there, it will help to build self-worth, especially if the relationship ended in such a way that the person, or yourself if you're the one listening to it, has been blaming themselves, the whole, oh, what if I just did this, and what if I just did that, and if only I did this, and if only I did that, then perhaps we could have stayed together or whatever. Well, the reality is that, all the what ifs in the world, it takes two people to make or break a relationship, and it's finished. So it's time to move on from it, let it go. Thank you very much to the universe. Lessons learned. And even if you did make mistakes, the reality is, um, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with a person because a relationship didn't go the distance. Quite often it just means that the people are incompatible, and that there is another person out there with whom that connection can be made. And quite often it's actually to do with a connection of the mind. Yes, okay, I know there's people out there that are psychologically unstable and potentially not in a good position to have a relationship right now or whatever, but it's not about what other people think. This becomes a fine line. If you feel and believe that you have done something wrong, then it's about really going through it, I think, with support, and establishing, could you have done things better? Okay, not wrong. Could things have been done better? Is there an area that you can work on yourself, to be the best version of yourself that you would like to be? Rather than berate yourself up with the what ifs, it's like, well, what if it's happened? Now I'm going forward and I'm going to be the best version of myself. That's all. Just moving forward. And to do that, you've got to be able to accept and respect, I guess, that where we're at the time that relationship ended, even if it was, you were not the best version of yourself, the point is you were the best version that you could actually be at the time. And it's often due to a lack of knowledge, information, or resources. Once that relationship ends, even if you did do that, and I'm using air quotation marks, the wrong thing, you have an opportunity to right things down the track. That will be a whole different story as well. But to heal and move on from this, it is about making things right within you, finding the internal balance, forgiving yourself for not meeting your own expectations, I guess is where I'm going. Happy to hear people's feedback on that whole content that I just said. So, either way, the colour coral is said to help us to release resistance to life, and the unexpected life challenges, to open us to synchronicity. And this is empowering us because it empowers us to go with the flow of life as opposed to resisting it, which is why I've put this little image on here of the leaf floating down the river. Synchronicity, for those that aren't aware, is the random, and of course this has got air quotation marks as well, the random occurrence of events that appear to have no connection. They just seem to occur, but they actually are connected. And an example of this is spending time thinking about angels. Okay, this might not be suitable for everybody, but thinking about angels, and then having said, all right, if there's such a thing as angels, show me a feather, and having a feather drop at your feet. Um, that that is an example of synchronicity. Other times it can just be symbolism. If we were talking about, I look at animal medicine regularly, as many people that listen to the yarning will know. I spend a lot of time looking in. I've got an amazing tree in the front garden, and symbolically, birds will fly into the garden giving specific medicine messages. And when I do a Google perhaps to see what is the medicine of a specific bird or animal that turns up, it's very relevant to my life. But synchronicity, I guess it's easy to say. It's when you've got a specific question and you're asking the universe, download the data, show me the solution to a problem that I'm experiencing. And then all of a sudden, let's say if your problem was that you needed a new job or whatever, somebody presents in your life with an opportunity that you hadn't previously considered. That is synchronicity. And so we would say the colour coral helps to open us up to synchronicity and the energy of openness, going with the flow, releasing resistance, and just allowing life to happen and seeing the opportunities and the synchronicity when it occurs, because that's important to see it. So, there's a very simple exercise that you can do to harness the healing powers of the colour coral, and that is to actually create some space where you won't be disturbed. Then visualize a coral ball of light, or a light in the area of your heart that is the colour of coral, and see that ball develop some rays that extend out from your heart. These rays are going to form a bridge that allows more synchronicity and greater ease in your life. So you see this bridge in front of you, and you either see or sense yourself stepping onto that bridge. And as you do so, you know that you're walking the right path for you. So, what you would then do is do the affirmation here. Now, just a reminder, when we're making affirmations, we do use courage of conviction. We use a strong voice. We don't yell and demand, we just state it factually. And we say it with the conviction, as I said, and I'm going to try and do it here. I'm always very mindful that I've got a microphone at my mouth and I don't want to be yelling down the microphone to you. So, an idea of this would be, I am on the right and divine path for me. My life is full of synchronicity and I follow my hunches with ease. I am. I would follow up with thanks be, actually, and I might even pop in sentences such as under grace and in the divine way. So, my friends, a relatively short video today. So, I'm going to, truck along. I'm going to say thank you very much for being part of my journey today. Have a wonderful day. Have fun playing with the colours, and I will catch you on the next video. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye for now.